Then when our protagonist untears the door, he is suddenly transported into a cold area where mountains made of ice are towering around. Our protagonist, with his trusty companion, the red frog who always tries to betray him, and his pet dragon, are walking towards the mountain. Freezing from the cold, our protagonist says it's so cold. If I had known it'd be this freezing, I would have worn more layers. But then, our protagonist suddenly notices a big snowball coming from behind him. He quickly avoids the snowball from crashing into him and says, "Ah, that was close." The red frog, sitting casually on the snow, looks at him and says, "Why are you dodging it? Why don't you use your shield?" Our protagonist looks at the red frog and says, "Oh, right, I do have a shield." Suddenly, right in front of our protagonist, the air becomes heavy and a giant snow-white monster starts running towards him, shouting. Seeing the monster, our protagonist gets shocked. Without wasting a second, he orders his pet dragon to attack, shouting, "Old Hui, show them how fierce you are." The dragon, with his fiery breath, attacks the monster and instantly defeats it. Then, a new notification pops up in front of our protagonist, saying, "Ding, congratulations, you have successfully slain white-furred mutant Yeti." Looking at the defeated monster and sweating from his face, our protagonist says to the red frog, "One bite and it's over?" "Lao Hui, did you see that clearly?" Hearing our protagonist, the red frog casually says back, "Nope." Then suddenly, right in front of our protagonist, some notifications appear. The first one says, "Talent. Absolute suppression as a great beast. The celestial dragon has an innate dominance over lower-tier creatures. After carrying the bloodline of the dragon race, it has grown even stronger. Plus 30% damage to mythical creatures, plus 50% damage to non-mythical creatures. Receive minus 50% damage from all sources." Then the second notification pops up, saying, "Nickname, Old Hui type. Celestial dragon, mythical grade level. 30 status base attributes. Strength, 70-66 constitution, 69-75 spirit, 75-89 agility, 6-9-4-9 1x1. All the dragon's skills and characteristics scroll in front of our protagonist. Seeing all of that, our protagonist gets completely shocked. With a stunned expression, he says, "Old Hui is broken." But then, suddenly, out of nowhere, a huge number of monsters appear and start rushing towards our protagonist. Seeing them, our protagonist shouts, "Why are there so many monsters all of a sudden?" As the monsters charge, the pet dragon, filled with excitement, lets out a mighty roar. Seeing this, with panic in his eyes, our protagonist yells, "Old Hui, now's your chance to go wild. Go kill, kill, kill." Hearing his words, the dragon immediately starts attacking the monsters with his fire breath. Then, half an hour later, after defeating all the monsters, our protagonist looks at the pile of dead creatures in front of him. A new notification pops up. "Ding, congratulations, you have successfully slain Seeker of the Abyss, King Tier." Meanwhile, our protagonist simply stands there holding a crystal in his hand, a mocking smile on his face, and says, "Haha, King Tier, that's it. So weak." The red frog, sitting on our protagonist's shoulder with his usual expression, says, "Get cocky. Did you forget how badly you got crushed before?" But then all over the world, a global announcement appears in front of all the players. Ding system announcement. Xiao player Knight Xiao has passed the Abyss level advancement trial and become the first ever hero to pass the level 30 Abyss trial. Awarded epic item, Heroine Radiant Stone. Plus 1 point to Xiao Warzone score. Announcement end. Looking at the announcement, some players react with shock. One shouts, "Holy crap, I knew it. Night God was preparing something big this whole time, and you didn't believe me. Our Xia deity. Bow before him, Moda." Then, another player cuts in and yells, "Shit, how did this guy get taken by a dragon and still come back?" Xiao's advantage grows again, and another one bursts out, "You idiot, this is impossible." But then suddenly, in front of the city gates, two men are seen talking with each other. Both of them look strong. The man wearing red armor laughs and says to his companion, "Huh, I knew it. There's no way a character like him would die so early. Just as I expected." His companion, wearing a hood, looks at him and says from behind, even the level 30 Abyss trial could be cleared. This guy's potential really is bottomless. Both of them stand there in front of the city gate, looking at the bustling city. The man in red armor speaks again. Let's go back to the city. I want to meet this interesting fellow myself. Once I bring him under my command, that's when the real game begins. Hearing his words, his companion simply responds with one word, understood. Then, the scene shifts to our protagonist. He holds a stone in his hand and looks at it. A new notification appears in front of him. System message item description. Seeing the details in front of him, our protagonist says, third fragment already. Just how many are there? Then, holding a crystal in his left hand, he looks at it. As always, another notification appears. Heroic Radiant Stone Grade. Epic description. A rare material infused with radiant energy from the heroic stone can further enhance the heroic emblem. Only powerful heroes are qualified to own it. Seeing the notification, our protagonist smiles and says, this heroic radiant stone is actually useful. I can enhance my heroic emblem again. Then, as he walks away from the trial gates, the guard looking at him says, Lord Knight Xiao, take care. Waving his hand casually, our protagonist replies, all right, see you. Suddenly, the scene shifts to Fengye's main city. Wearing a hood and blending into the crowd, our protagonist looks around and says, seems like Fengye is getting crowded. Hearing that, the red frog sitting on his shoulder responds with a mocking tone, well, you were missing for several days. Then, our protagonist notices a huge crowd gathered in front of a shop. Seeing the scene, he says, come on, let's get this gear appraised. The red frog, still perched on his shoulder, adds, why are there so many people? But then, our protagonist notices an old man appraising items. Seeing that, he confidently steps forward and says, boss, appraise this gear. Above his head, his first-class citizenship sign is shining brightly. However, the old man doesn't notice at first and, without even looking, grumbles at him, get in line, don't bug me. But then the old man catches a glimpse of our protagonist's first-class citizenship and immediately gets shocked. In an instant, the old man's attitude completely changes. Showing full respect, he gestures inside and says, well, look who it is. It's the god of fortune. Come right in. All the players lining up for appraisal look irritated, glaring at our protagonist. One of them mutters, who is this guy? Another one quickly butts in, saying, a first-class VIP. Someone at the front of the line grumbles, just cause he's first class, he gets to cut the line. Then, our protagonist calmly shows a badge to the old man. Seeing the badge, the old man starts sweating a little and says, slightly panicked, wait, is that the heroic emblem? Hearing the old man's words, our protagonist casually says, help me enhance this first. The old man quickly gets to work, mumbling nervously, all right, enhancing now. This thing's so valuable. Tighten up. I'm ruined. Outside the shop, the crowd peeks in, watching the scene unfold. One person says, what a good item. Another one scoffs, doesn't look like much. Just a shabby emblem. Ignoring all the background chatter, the old man focuses entirely on enhancing the item. Then suddenly, a bright yellow light bursts out from the item, and a notification appears. Heroic emblem. Legendary grade description. Proof of a hero. Only those who pass the hell level trial are worthy. Ultimate honor of the Empire. After 2 equipment merges, it becomes even more powerful. Plus 100 base attributes, plus 5% all attribute resistance, plus 3 charisma, heroine power passive. Triggers when HP drops below 30%, granting plus 10% strength and plus 10% spirit. Seeing all that, the people inside the store are stunned. One of them gasps, that's legendary grade equipment. Everyone starts covering their eyes from the blinding light and shouts, my eyes, too bright. Meanwhile, our protagonist, holding the badge in his hand, looks unimpressed and mutters, another legendary item. Doesn't seem like a big upgrade, though. From outside the door, some people notice him and whisper, the guy. Could he be the famous knight Xiao? Another one quickly adds, it must be. No wonder he could do an abyss-level trial. Then suddenly, the entire crowd waiting outside the store rushes in one by one, shouting, "Lord Knight Xiao, can I add you as a friend? Boss, carry me please. Fan for life. Super hot, like a school beauty tier. I can hook you two up. Name your price. Big bro. I'm your long-lost brother-in-law. My sister's wearing black stockings today. Add me, and I'll send you pics. If you don't like it, I'll wear them myself." The old man, panicking, tries to calm the chaos, shouting, "Everyone calm down. Don't disrupt the store's business." Meanwhile, our protagonist, holding a red dagger he picked up from the shop, sighs and says, "Staying low-key is so hard." Then he turns to the old man and says, "Boss, help me appraise these other items too." Hearing that, the old man looks at him and quickly responds, "Sure thing. Satisfaction guaranteed." From outside the door, the crowd watches excitedly. One of them exclaims, "Holy crap, they're all dark gold gear." Another one says, "My poor heart can't take this." Someone else, full of excitement, adds, "Boss, you probably won't use all that, right? Want to sell a few pieces?" Another man, practically begging, says, "Master, my dad owns 3 publicly traded companies. Money's no issue. Just sell me 1 or 2 pieces, I beg you." Thank you all for watching. Please watch this next GigaChat video, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, support the channel by joining the My Channel membership. You can also support by just liking the video and being awesome.